So I've been sitting on this story for a while. Wasn't sure how to really actually articulate it and share it, so I'll try to keep it as condensed as possible. And wow, that light's really bright. There we go. So it all started actually last December. I was feeling amazing, feeling my best I had in probably, I don't know, like 10 years. And so what happened was January came and I started not feeling good. Now I had been on Plexus for about 2 years and I was like, what's going on? Like, I've studied all the science and I know that products don't just stop working. Something shifts in your body. So I started like researching, because you guys know I'm a researcher, and figuring out just different things, like what is going on? Why am I having all this pain? I was having these chronic headaches that would wrap here and then up and around my eye, and they were literally close to debilitating. They would make me nauseous. They'd be awful. I, a year prior, had gone to the dentist, had them take a x-ray, and they said they didn't see anything, that it was fine. Well, come February, then I have these black raccoon circles. I feel feverish. I don't feel well. This is this past February, and I'm like, what is going on? And I researched some more, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's an infection gone septic. And so I call the dentist. They give me antibiotics. It goes right away. And so I'm like, okay, figured it out. The dentist tells me that something was on the x-ray a year ago, but I didn't have any symptoms, so he didn't think to say anything. But a year later, I end up having a full-blown infection. It goes everywhere. So the reason I was able to identify it being here is because I knew for 2 years I had been reducing all the inflammation in my body. And so when I all of a sudden switched to feeling really good to feeling awful, and started having pain, I was able actually to trace it. Now, prior to this, I had been to several ENTs, had been to doctors. No one could figure out why my ear was swelling, why there was swelling down my neck and down my shoulder, had these crazy headaches down my back, and no one could figure out why, because there was nothing wrong. And so because I had already reduced all the inflammation in my body with Plexus, I was able to actually figure out it was here localized where my tooth was. And then, of course, I do more and more research, because it gives me answers when I do that. It's figuring out the right questions to ask, though. If you don't ask the right questions, you don't get the right answers. That could probably be a sermon. But we got that. They did an emergency extraction. They put a bone graft in, but that didn't feel right. And so it was a cadaver. Yay! A cadaver graft. And so it got a little better. The headaches got lower, but it was still swollen. The swollenness never went down. And I was like, well, I know I'm on something that's reducing all the inflammation, so something still isn't right there. So fast forward, let's say February, of course, all the stuff hits in March. June comes around and I start feeling, it starts tanking, like real bad, like where I am barely just making it through the day. And I had never had anything like this happen before. I was up max on all my supplements, Plexus, non-Plexus, anything you could get your hands on. And it just wasn't, I'd be like, pain things just didn't touch it. It was the type that nothing helped it go away until it just went away. You know, I don't know if some of you have had some of those headaches. So let's see, fast forward to September, and that's when I had the bone graft extracted, and then they drilled the rest of the bone that was infected down to where like the nerve runs. He's like, I'm not going to go any further. And then it starts, I actually hear popping in my ear for the first time in almost a year. It starts opening up so I can fully hear out of my left ear. And I'm like, this is amazing. The headaches go away. But then not knowing, a lack of knowledge does not help us. And so I eat some sugar, like a brownie, because I can't chew a whole lot. Well, when you have your body getting rid of an infection, it threw it into a full infection where I had to go on antibiotics for 21 days. It was nuts. It was one of the most painful things. It was more painful than childbirth. That whole tooth infection thing. So I had to be put on antibiotics, had to do a lot of healing. Again, had to do a lot of research because all of a sudden that headache starts coming back and the swelling down my neck never went away. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm taking all the Plexus stuff. Like, I didn't have any inflammation in my body, and now all of a sudden it's popping up here and here, but I was able to localize it instead of my whole body sort of reacting and overreacting. Like, I could literally tell the difference between the right side of my body and the left, and I was able to compare healthy, not healthy. And I was like, And so, September until now, I had been doing a lot of research. I don't know if you can see, I now have dimples on both sides. You can't see because of the light, but there we go. See, look, if you look at my past pictures, this is all swollen. I'll smile, but there's no dimple. And what happened is each tooth has a lymph node, and then there's about like 120. There's a lot in your neck, and then it spreads out, goes down here. You have I think it's called thalamus, goes here, and then it sort of spaces out more and more, not as intense. So what happens is if that gets overrun, your lymphatic is your liquid waste system, and so it basically, the infection and all the toxins and all the stuff were overrun for almost a year, and so there was actually blockage in the lymphatic system on my left side, going down my arm here, down the back. So I'm praying, I'm thinking, I'm researching, really asking the Lord specifically, like, show me what to do. And so he connects me to this awesome naturopath doctor. Now, I had already figured out is the lymphatic system. I just didn't know what to do. So I had already gone to an herbalist store, got some herbs, hadn't started them yet. I just wanted confirmation. So I know, because when you don't doubt yourself, you're a lot more like, okay, let's do this. So I go see her. She's like, I think it's nerves. And then, like, by the end, she's like, oh my gosh, your lymphatic system needs help. I'm like, right? So she puts me on these lymphatic draining herbs, and a couple other enzymes and stuff to help with. Did you know that your lymphatic system is what helps rid your body of excess fat? I didn't know this. Anyways, that's why, like, lymphomas and stuff happen. Anyways, it's fascinating. Well, one of the reasons. So, anyway, she put me on some things. What I'm doing is great, she says. She adds a couple extra things to help, some essential oils, frankincense. And I've always wanted frankincense. I hadn't been able to afford it until now. And so, literally the combination, I've been doing it for 4 days, y'all. You now can see, like, my cheek. It's amazing, and the headaches are gone. And so me just really persisting and not giving up. I mean, I was like, maybe I need, I wanted a quick fix because the pain was so bad, but I didn't want a quick fix because I knew what that might cost me of not getting to the root. And so I kept going, I kept praying, and I kept trusting the Lord, and he kept leading me down this way. And I would literally stand in my kitchen, just take a minute and be like, what is it, God? And these things would pop in my head to go research. And that's what I would go find these studies on different things. And when I got to a point where I was like, lymphatic system is really complicated, I'm going to get additional help. I went and got help. And so it was just really cool of just all my knowledge and experience from the past 3 years of studying. Like, God sort of brought it all together, from us having to detox from mold, having to heal our guts, having to just really studying and understanding the science behind what we're taking personally, and being able to help others walk through it, helped me actually at a really serious juncture be able to move our health forward in the wisdom that God gave me, to know what to put my hand to. Did I do everything right? No. But like getting the bone graft way back wasn't the right decision. We had to get it removed and then drill out bone in my face. But what I did was I did gain a lot more wisdom and understanding and passion to help other people and share my story, because a lot of times I feel like, because it's been so long, it's been such a hard struggle, health really does like it affects your finances, it affects your relationships. Like I was talking with my daughters today, I was like, have I been around much this past year? And they go, no. Like, didn't even think about it. I've been home with them 24/7, and their answer was no. Why? Because I was in so much pain. I couldn't connect. I literally was just keeping them alive. Anyways, that's a whole other story. But in all of that, realizing that health really is such a gift. It's such a beautiful thing, and it's incredibly powerful. And a lot of times we put it last, and a lot of times we don't persevere and we don't research. And so I can say those things are worth it, and you can come out the other side. If you want to do it naturally, if you really want to get to the root, you can. God made our bodies incredibly powerful. He says fearfully and wonderfully, and our bodies are designed by the hand of God. Like every single system. Like the more I figure out of how the circulatory system and the lymphatic system are connected, to how the gut influences the circulatory, and the circulatory is what helps move the lymphatic, and then how the nerves interact with everything. And it's like our bodies are so powerfully built. And so I just want to encourage you that we are designed amazingly, and the answers are out there, and we don't have to be dependent on things that God did not call us to be dependent upon. And so know that there is freedom, there is hope, and you can overcome no matter what's in front of you. It might take time, persistence, and lots of grit, y'all. I was like literally hanging on. Not with anything going on in this world, just hanging on to overcome physically, knowing what God had for me, and knowing I would not stop until I found the answer. And so you can too. All right, so you guys have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you later.